Okay, so I'm Bree, and I'm Logan's mom. Nolan's mom too, but Nolan is significant right now. Logan's mom.
And what would you like people to know about Asperger's?
I would like them to know that it is a real thing. It was something that our school kind of minimized for Logan, and I would like people to know that Asperger's is a thing that you can live through, you can survive this, and it's just, honestly, it's an incredible blessing for Logan, I think. Do you think? Okay.
So what would you tell people are Logan's strengths?
Logan is incredibly quick-witted. He has a Ferris Bueller sense of humor that I adore and appreciate. He is incredibly intelligent. He is incredibly caring. He is probably the most compassionate person that you'll ever meet. And I think the thing that's benefited me the most as a mother is his inability to lie to me. So it's just illogical to not tell the truth. So when you say, Logan, do I look good in this? He'll go, ask Dad. Because I can't lie. So just ask Dad.
Yes, I did chop down that cherry tree.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. When did you first notice that maybe Logan was a little bit different?
I think in retrospect, I probably noticed something kind of like early on, like when he could sit up, he would do this thing with his hands and his wrists, and like we used to sing the Get Your Motor Running song to him because it literally looked like he was revving like a motorcycle. And I just thought like, oh, this is adorable, like look, he's moving his body, because he was obviously the cutest child you'd ever seen. And then when he started to walk and move on his own, we noticed the stimming. And at first it was like right here, and it was really fast, like his hands were cold, but he did it all the time. I mean, all the time. So I didn't really know that it was wrong. I mean, not that it's wrong. Probably when he was in the first grade, we noticed like, okay, something's awry. We asked him we had church on Wednesday night, and our second born was almost, I think he had been like 6 months old probably. He was freaking out. Our dog was barking. My husband and I were like yelling like out of anger because everything else was crazy. And I had told Logan how to tie his shoes. You're gonna do crossover, you're gonna do the loop, you're gonna pull it tight, and you're gonna make these loops, and you're gonna do it fast because we gotta go to church. And all of this was happening, and he literally like fell on the ground and had a meltdown, and that's just not his personality. And I mean, cried for probably like a good 45 minutes. And we got to church, and he cried. It's like a 2-hour thing on Wednesday nights. He cried the whole 2 hours. Like sat on my mom's lap and sobbed, like couldn't pull himself out of it. And I thought, this is not my child, maybe he's just tired. And then it probably was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks later, we had a meeting with I think she's an OT at the school, I'm not really sure what her position is. We had a meeting with her. She gave us a sheet and said, check all these things off. And it was things like, your child has issues drowning out background noise. And that was like a definite. Your child has difficulty with more than like 3-word commands. That was a definite. It was literally almost every bullet point aside.
What did you learn during your family's journey with autism?
I feel like it's so much. I don't think I could even like put it into like one simple question. Not that I'm ever able to shorten any answer, but I think the main thing that I've learned on our journey is it is so different for every family. So a friend of ours, her son is probably like the same line, and his Asperger's looks different than Logan's does. And it's hard in a sense because you can't necessarily help each other, because what Logan struggles with, a friend might not struggle with. It's just different for every person, and I think that I think that's the hardest part. And also what we've learned is that it's just different for everybody. It's not a textbook situation, and then no child is a cookie cutter. I mean, that's what I think.
That's so true.
Yeah, sorry.
From your perspective, what is OT's role in autism?
I think I have always been one of those parents that thought, like, I'm going to raise my child, and I don't really need any outside sources unless I've asked you for help. And then you're welcome to give me your advice, because no one knows my child like I know my child, but as it turns out, you knew my child better than I knew my child. And I feel like OT's role is so imperative. I think it's twofold. I think as an occupational therapist, what I've respected and loved from you is that you knew how to break into Logan and pull like who he was right out. Like what we saw of Logan was Logan, and he was precious and he was awesome and he was great, but I didn't know that I was gonna have that Logan. Like I didn't know that I got to have that child. And that was probably the most incredible thing that OT did. And also the other job for you as an OT is for me, like coaching me. Because again, maybe cocky mother attitude was like, I will raise my child how I want to, and I already had preconceived notions, this is what I'm going to do with my child. That didn't happen. Like that didn't happen at all. And I think just having you on the sideline with me, like, I didn't ask that you would stand here, but you just did on your own. And like, because you care about us. And I think that that's probably, I don't think you can be an occupational therapist to a family that has Asperger's and expect to only treat the child. You have to treat the family too. And that's been such an important role, I think, with you and our family, lucky before. And so, as an occupational therapist, you get to pull out this brand new person that we got to meet and explore his personality. And then you've stood along the sidelines and like cried with us, or like picked me up when I felt like I was an awful mother of a autistic child, and like pat me on the back and say you're doing great. And then also like encourage him to be, you saw the potential in him that I was like, I don't know how we're gonna make it through this, and you're like, this is what's happening, and we're just gonna march along the road together. That was cool. That was great.
My name is Logan Wood, and I am good at a lot of stuff. I'm good at memorizing, I'm good at cross country, and I have Asperger's.
Very good. So what does it mean to have Asperger's?
Asperger's is a type of autism. It's sort of lower on the scale. It can range from everything from being quite socially distant, or like me, you could hardly tell.
That's very true. So what would you want someone to know about Asperger's?
A lot of kids who have Asperger's may act different, but they don't want to be treated different.
Okay, what do you mean by act different?
They might act different from what other people think a regular person should act.
Okay.
They might act socially awkward, they might stim, but they shouldn't be treated different.
Okay. So what is harder for you?
It's a lot harder to be social. I don't know when to stop a conversation. I don't know when a conversation ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just mainly social. If something big comes up and I have no idea, it's really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I am a slave to routine. Everything's on time. Everything's timed, and the quicker I get it done, the better.
So what does it feel like, Logan, when it goes off of routine?
It feels like everything else is messed up. It's one of those people who loves their schedules but doesn't know what to do when something happens.
Okay. You mentioned stimming. What does that mean?
Stimming is something that I do when I'm over or understimulated, and a lot of other kids with Asperger's do it differently, but it's something that I try not to do in public because it can make other people feel awkward, or a lot of people don't understand that.
Do you think it's okay to stim?
It is alright to stim. You just gotta know when and where.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. Do you realize when you're stimming?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It's a pretty straightforward question and a pretty straightforward answer.
All right. Okay, so Logan, what is the hardest thing about having Asperger's?
The hardest thing about having Asperger's is the social. It's the social stuff. It's trying not to do stuff that makes other people feel awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to not show it. Trying to kind of act like you should act.
Okay.
In a certain time and place.
Okay. Good. Good. What do you like about OT?
I like how it's helped me with conversations and stemming. how to act, how to get over what happens when my plans don't go according to the schedule.
Well, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, anything else you want to tell these people?
Have a good day.
How are you feeling? You feel okay?
Yeah.
Do you feel as nervous now? No, that's good. I appreciate you doing this.
You're welcome.
Thank you.